While we are still in the spirit of jubilation and celebration of the one man who is the most loved in Nigeria and arguably Africa, Peter Obi, just at the twilight, we saw a very welcoming and heartwarming message from Atiku. And from his message of Atiku, we can clearly see that Atiku has agreed to step aside and listen to the cry of the obedient. You see, we have a lot to talk about today, but Atiku will not do something without demanding for something in return. Now we are in a dilemma. Should Obi be ready to offer or provide an answer to those demands? What we need as obedient is we need Obi to be on that seat. One of the first demand is clear. Atiku, who is of age right now, who honestly should be in his retiring age, who should just sit back and be the extra statesman. And I am beginning to see an Atiku as a true nationalist, because from the messages he sent out, I just hope that the northern oligarchs do not go in there and once again, they know how to corrupt the minds of any person that wants to do good from the north. We know how they did with Umar Yar'Adua. We all know that the death of Umar Yar'Adua for us wasn't natural. We know that there are possibilities that Yar'Adua could have been poisoned, because Yar'Adua was a man who came on board. He had negotiations. He actually reached a truce with the militants. Nigeria was so sweet. Yar'Adua even said that he wanted immunity to be out. Yar'Adua even said he wanted election processes that has given and protected the northern hegemony, that's sustainable power since 1999. Yar'Adua said he wanted to dismantle it. But we know what they did, how they poisoned him, and the rest they say is story. Today, Yar'Adua is no more. And of course, ever since Yar'Adua, we've never had a president that was so kind-hearted to Nigeria. Perhaps Atiku wants to fill that gap. I don't know. But let us give Atiku a benefit of that. I mean, following the message is sent out to Obi, a very, a good wish, a message of encouragement. So his demands, first of all, are first and foremost, Obi must ensure that Nigeria under his watch is united. I mean, that is one of the easiest demands an Atiku can ask Obi. Because for me, I know how Obi has done everything not to be seen or to be painted with a brush of being an IPOP or to be seen as a secessionist. Because Obi, the way he has carried himself, his demeanor, and this is where Obi and the likes of Showore, the activists, this is where they differ, right? Because we as obedient, even in post 2023, I became obedient, but I used to say that Obi should have actually charged his millions, because to be fair, I think Obi had over 6 million votes. I mean, there are so many evidences out there that shows that Obi got more than what he got in Lagos, got more than what he got in Port Harcourt, got more than what he got in Nasarawa, Benue, and these votes that were taken off Obi were not less than 2 to 3 million votes. Now, add that to his current vote, I mean, Obi got over 9 to 10 million votes. However, an ordinary person who will get controlled by his heart and not his brain would have told his fans, instructed them, just as Donald Trump did in that very famous, when they had to invade the Capitol, when he lost the 2020 election, and he gave that instruction. Obi was expected to do such, throw the country to anarchy. But Obi said no. So Obi is simply a man who will, with just a piece of cake, within a flinch, will actually attend to that demand. Nigeria under Obi will be so united than never before. Okay? Because we saw how Obi said, let us respect the rule of law. And indeed, whether you're hot, whether you're cold, whether you're from the north, whether you're from the south, everybody simply attended. And his voice was like the voice of God, and everybody obeyed. Okay? I mean, I know that demand is not on the superficial level. It is not uniting the Nigerian in that aspect that Atiku means. Atiku means do not divide the country in the means of maybe we all go in our regional ways. I guess Obi will have to find a way to do that. But again, like I always say, for progress to happen, there has to be some real changes in the way Nigeria is being operationalized. Okay, the way Nigeria is being operated, we need to have what we call true federal states, right? We need to have a situation whereby bamboo will not continue to work and monkey will continue to eat. We have to change that. So on that level, yes, I'm going to pass Obi, and it's going to be a check for me. The next one is Atiku has said that Obi must not do more than 4 years. Well, for me, Atiku must get it straight that when we are talking about talk and do, I think there's a word for it in Igbo language. I'm trying to ekweme, right? Ekweme, talk and do. That is who Obi is. Obi just recently said he will find a solution to the students of dentistry in UNN Enugu, and he did. Obi has recently said that if it would take him just 2 years to reposition Nigeria, so be it. Right? In fact, Obi and Atiku, perhaps Atiku has forgotten, right, that Obi has said, let us have a rotational presidency. And there are so many people that have been coming out to say that. We have seen the likes of Femi Falana. We have seen the likes of Mike Ezokome. In fact, Tinubu has even received a bill, right? In fact, one of the best performing governor in Southeast, who seems to be on the good side. Two of them, Alex Oti and Peter Obi. There is a plan that they want to visit President Tinubu. That for Nigeria to remain one, and there is this sense of equality and fairness and justice, the presidency needs to be rotated. Maybe in a space of 5 years within the 6 regions. When it is done of that region, let them argue it out. They have to present someone that is healthy. And there will have to be a contingency plan in the situation whereby there's death. I mean, it's as simple as that. It is as simple as that. So there won't be a situation whereby the Igbos, seeing how educated, competent they show in their businesses and enterprise, they deserve a seat on the seat of power. And however, because of some compromise between the Northwest and the Southwest, and it now seems to be like an eternal, ambush against every other part of the country, because the Southeast will not be able to get that power if the Northwest and the Southwest do not prepare to relinquish it. I'm telling you, okay, the Northeast will forever forget about power because they need the support of the Northwest and the Southwest. So will Tinubu now do this? Well, I don't know. And this is why we keep saying that it is important for Atiku. This is the best time for Atiku to just be that elder statesman. And I'm urging him because I'm seeing his body language. I'm seeing that he wants to do it. From that message, perhaps this could be one of the best surprise for me as an obedient and as a Peter Obi. In fact, Peter Obi might not even see this, that this is a clear signal from Atiku. Because I know that, Atiku will, in earnest, just be fair, because he has always, parroted that idea that he is a pan-Nigerian man. I believe that this is a strategy currently in ADC whereby Atiku is seen as the face. However, at the end of the day, he will, in earnest, step down. Obedience, the greatest thing that we have today is Atiku will step down for Obi. Now, for the last demand, it is so critical, okay? It is very, very important that we listen to this last demand. And after this last demand, we're going to watch a very important video by those who are leading the cause for the constitutional amendment. Why do you think, why do you think in the past few weeks, the constitutional amendment has taken the headline? It is because Tinubu understands that the South are very sentimental when it comes to that. The Northeasterners are very sentimental when it comes to that. The Middle Belters are very sentimental when it comes to that. And easily they can be emotionally swayed. They can be influenced when you bring up the issues of comfort. When he brings up the issue of changing the constitution to actually show what we call, you know, equal distribution of wealth, and what we call a new constitution that will encourage meritocracy, that will encourage hard work, not, less work. The South as a whole are what very, very sentimental about it. Okay, so in that last demand of Atiku, he has simply asked Obi that Obi should resign from Labour Party, and he should understand that he cannot chase two rabbits. Yes, this is a hard one, and I know you know it. Why will Atiku ask Obi to leave Labour Party and join ADC? Well, for me, I believe that the wealthiest man that has ever lived, Rockefeller, followed by Carnegie, the Americans, they have a quote. They said, the wealthiest people put all their eggs in one basket. That quote, that do not put your eggs in one basket, is for the fools. When you put your egg in one basket, all you need to do is protect that basket from hyenas, from anacondas, from snakes, from anything that can destroy the eggs. And you can be sure that your eggs in one basket will be protected, they will flourish, they will hatch, and they will give you more ducklings. You see, we've gotten to that point of crucible. We are at the edge, and we cannot afford to be slow. Whether Obi remains in Labour Party doesn't guarantee his success. But Obi going to ADC, and with the massive support of the obedience, because the obedient will go in there, take charge of the ADC. All it is needed is Obi should give the command through his body language, through his actions. For now, the obedience are like in the limbo. So that's why I said Obi should not chase too rapid, because the obedience are becoming divided. Some are in the ADC, some are in the Labour Party. So that is the demand from Atiku. Go and resign from Labour Party. Join us in ADC. And I can tell you that if he joins the ADC today, if Peter Obi joins the ADC, Alex Otti will follow suit. There's no doubt about that. Alex Otti will follow suit. And then ADC will become stronger. Atiku will have no choice. He has already said it. Those are the three demands. Very simple. The first one is unite the nation. Simple. Right? And then the last one, which I feel might want to be tricky, but I think is just what a man should ask. Are you in for the ride or not? You cannot take charge of a bus when you're not in the bus. So these are simple. ADC, for me, I think is that party that will give us that true referendum, that true power distribution, equality of power distribution. Because the Atiku and PD and Obi are sitting on the premise that the Nigerian president should just be one term. Could be 5 years, could be 6 years. And there is no way a Tinubu can stop it, other than him trying to tinker with our brains with these current conversations of COMBA, CONFA, constitutional amendment. Listen, I have always said it. Tinubu has no opposition. Tinubu cannot be stopped by the northern oligarchs. The strongest man in the northern oligarchy is dead and gone. Buhari is gone. Right now, the actions of Tinubu that will continue to make Buhari's ghost restless is for Tinubu to ensure, beyond the state creation that he is, that they are peddling in the Senate, they should go into what we call a total change of power. That rotational system of government should be done. If Tinubu can do that, and Obi will even just step down. But will Tinubu do that? I don't think so. I think he's too greedy. I think he's too greedy and selfish, because there has never been a president that has been this powerful like Tinubu. I'm telling you. He has the police, he has the army, he has the Senate, he has the House of Reps, he has the governors. In fact, they are singing on your mandate you in the House of Congress. Nobody has ever had such an influence. So if Tinubu was a man who truly wanted the the good of the South. He's not just parroting the turn of South for his own personal agenda. I'm telling you, Tinubu will change the constitution, and there is nothing on earth the North will do to stop him, because right now they are at their weakest point. This is why I've shifted my support, and I've said Tinubu is not a serious person to me. He will just, he's just flashing those things to distract us. He's just flashing it. So for me, Atiku must get the point. Why Tinubu has all the he has the jokers to actually attract votes, because Tinubu actually has those things. He has those weak points. Is it the Nnamdi Kanu? If you release Nnamdi Kanu, he's going to get support. Yeah, it's going to get a very large amount of support from the Southeast, to be fair. If Tinubu start talking about constitutional amendment by 2026 and is keen about it, like he wants to implement confab, the North will split. In its entirety, the North will split, because the Middle Belt will immediately eject themselves. The Northeast and the Northwest will argue about it, because what did the confab suggest? The recommendations are clear in confab. Confab, let us ensure we have resource control. Let us ensure we have power rotation. Right? So these are the things that, and this is why I say that Atiku, for his own benefit, by the way, must ensure that he brings in Obi. That Obi is the man for that job. Otherwise, it's just a done deal again for Tinubu. And no matter what, I don't want Tinubu there past 2027. Let's watch this video together.
Ownership of Nigeria should be by every Nigerian. Ownership of Nigeria should be by every Nigerian. The mistake we are often making is to think that some people have been specially designated to fight for Nigeria. I meet people on the streets and they say, Prof sir, Chief sir, when next are you going to speak again on such and such an issue? I will ask the person, what have you yourself said? So, every Nigerian should see this great country as an asset, and that our population of about 237 million people is not a curse. Rather, it is a blessing, because God has endowed us with so much human and natural resources, more than most countries in the world. Even the population, the differences in cultures, in religions, in ethnic nationalities, about 374 ethnic groups in Nigeria, according to Professor Onigu Otite. Nigerians should therefore see themselves as a coat of many colors. If you ask me, do you want a bifurcation or a dismemberment of Nigeria, or you want it to stay? I would say I prefer a united single entity called Nigeria, but which is driven by social justice, equity, good conscience, egalitarianism, and mutual respect one for another. I do not want anyone, for example, to disrespect me because I'm from the minority group, a minority within a minority. Because God did not make mistake in creating me to come from where I come from, Ijukwe, near Aginebode, Esako, East Local Government Area of Edo State, and I'm very proud of that. So I think the question of making Nigeria a better place should be the concern of every Nigerian.